Deep within the heart of our little ecosystem, a silent drama was about to unfold. It began with a single, almost invisible dot, a minuscule anomaly easily overlooked yet pregnant with potential. At first glance it looked like a mere fleck of dust, an insignificant particle adrift in the self-contained world of the sealed jar. This was a miniature world of moss, a verdant carpet carefully cultivated by nature's own hand. Rich, dark soil, teeming with unseen life, provided the foundation. And a bustling community of insects, tiny custodians of this enclosed environment, went about their daily routines. Everything seemed in perfect balance, a delicate equilibrium sustained by the sun, water, and the intricate web of life. The sun, a benevolent provider, warming the glass and fueling the cycle of growth. Water, the lifeblood of this tiny world, cycling endlessly, nourishing the plants, sustaining life quietly thriving within its humid embrace. But this tiny speck was different, new, an uninvited guest, a potential disruptor of the established harmony. By the next day it had undergone a remarkable transformation, blossoming into a noticeable fuzzy white patch. It appeared soft as cotton, a delicate yet persistent presence clinging tenaciously to a twig. The question arose, how could something grow so rapidly, so prolifically, within the confines of a seemingly closed jar? It seemed to defy the conventional rules of resource availability, thriving in a space where limitations should have hindered its progress. The pristine white patch soon began to exhibit a subtle shift in hue, developing a faint bluish-green tinge. This chromatic alteration was a clear sign that the organism was not only alive but also actively maturing, progressing through its life cycle. Its delicate tendrils reached out, probing the environment, exploring new territories, expanding its reach in a silent, relentless invasion. By the third day, the intruder had dramatically doubled in size, asserting its presence with increasing confidence. It was spreading fine filaments, intricate networks resembling spiderwebs across the surface of the soil, claiming the ground as its own. The resident insects, once carefree inhabitants of this miniature world, now gave it a wide berth, instinctively sensing the profound change in their environment. The air inside the jar, once fresh and clean, likely carried a musty odor now, a testament to the growing presence of the mold. This uninvited guest was rapidly making itself at home, establishing its dominion, and the once peaceful and balanced world inside the jar was teetering on the verge of a significant transformation. The story of the jar, once a tale of harmonious coexistence, now had a new, mysterious, and potentially disruptive protagonist, ready to rewrite the narrative. The fuzzy invader is mold, a type of fungus, cousin to the mushrooms you see in forests or on pizza. Unlike mushrooms, most of mold's body is made of tiny thread-like hyphae, usually invisible. The fuzzy patch is just the part ready to reproduce. Mold spores are everywhere, in the air, on surfaces, in soil. All they need is moisture, food, and the right temperature. In our jar, a dormant spore must have hitched a ride on the twig or soil, waiting for perfect conditions. The main body, a network of hyphae, burrows into the twig, secreting enzymes to break it down. Mold digests food externally, absorbing nutrients to grow and expand. It doesn't need sunlight, just organic matter to recycle. In the jar, this fuzzy intruder is about to change everything for the other inhabitants. Mold's life is a cycle of growth, reproduction, and dispersal. It starts with a spore, tiny, tough, and built for survival. When a spore lands somewhere moist and rich in food, like our twig, it germinates. A hypha emerges, burrowing in and branching out, forming a vast network called mycelium. The mycelium is the real body of the mold, spreading silently and consuming food. Once established, the mold shifts to reproduction, growing stalks topped with sporangia, spore factories. The color shift from white to bluish-green signals spore production. In the jar, spores spread by vibration, condensation, or insects, colonizing new areas. Each spore can start a new colony if conditions are right. That's how mold spreads relentlessly, even in a closed system. Mold, often viewed with disdain, may seem destructive at first glance. We tend to associate it with decay and spoilage, things we want to avoid. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a vital decomposer, playing a crucial role in the natural world. It's nature's cleanup crew, diligently working to break down organic matter and recycle essential nutrients. Without decomposers, the world would be a very different place. Dead plants in all their forms and animals, once their life cycle is complete, would simply pile up, creating a stagnant and lifeless environment. All those valuable nutrients locked away within the dead matter would be forever trapped, unavailable to fuel new life. Mold, with its incredible enzymatic abilities, unlocks those nutrients, breaking down complex organic molecules into simpler forms. This process returns them to the ecosystem, making them accessible to plants and other organisms, fueling growth and sustaining the cycle of life. Consider a simple twig on the forest floor. By breaking down the twig, mold releases simple nutrients directly into the soil, enriching it with essential elements. These nutrients then become available, feeding the moss and other small plants nearby. This process, known as nutrient cycling, is a fundamental aspect of ecology. It is the very foundation of every healthy and thriving ecosystem, ensuring the continuous flow of energy and resources. Decomposers like mold act as a crucial link, connecting the dead and the living in a continuous cycle of renewal. This ensures that nothing goes to waste, and every element is eventually repurposed to support new life. But in a closed jar, a microcosm of the larger world, the line between beneficial decomposer and something more sinister blurs. Mold doesn't always wait for things to die a natural death. It can be opportunistic. If an organism within the jar is weak, perhaps due to lack of sunlight or water or generally stressed, mold can attack early, taking advantage of its vulnerability. This means starting the decomposition process even before death occurs, blurring the lines of its role. Is it just cleaning up the weak and preventing disease from spreading? Or is it actively preying on the living, hastening their demise for its own benefit? In the tiny world contained within the jar, these questions become magnified. The delicate balance of this miniature ecosystem is about to be tested in profound ways. The mold's role is not just essential for nutrient cycling, but also potentially suspenseful, as its actions can have far-reaching consequences. It's not just about recycling organic matter and returning nutrients to the soil, it's about fundamentally reshaping the entire ecosystem within the jar, influencing the survival of every plant and creature. The ultimate outcome for all the jar's inhabitants, from the smallest moss to the largest plant, hangs precariously in the balance, dependent on the actions of this tiny but powerful decomposer. The jar's transformation is dramatic and swift. Mold spreads from the twig, building eerie, beautiful structures across the landscape. Wispy hyphae reach for the glass, while dense mats blanket the soil like fuzzy snow. The original twig collapses, turning to mush as mold digests it. Sporangia pepper the surface, releasing new spores everywhere. Insects, once free-roaming, now struggle, paths blocked, bodies dusted with spores. The air changes too, as mold consumes oxygen and releases musty-smelling compounds. The chemistry of the jar is rewritten by its new ruler. The ecosystem's balance is gone, the world is under siege. Mold dominates every surface, every breath, every life. The once lush moss, a vibrant carpet of green, is now under attack. A silent, creeping threat is making its presence known. What was once a thriving ecosystem is now facing an existential challenge. At first, the mold seemed to avoid the moss, almost respecting its vibrant territory. It lingered on the edges, a subtle warning sign, but soon the inevitable happened. White patches appeared like a dusting of snow, spreading insidiously across the green. The mold was no longer a bystander, it was an active invader. The invasion doesn't just mar the beauty, it blocks the sunlight, the very lifeblood of the moss, starving it of the energy it needs to survive. The green begins to fade, overshadowed by the encroaching white. The vibrant green fades, slowly but surely, as photosynthesis grinds to a halt. The moss, once full of life, begins to lose its color, turning pale and sickly. Weakened and vulnerable, the moss is now directly attacked. The mold intensifies its assault. The mold's hyphae, microscopic threads of destruction, penetrate the moss, reaching deep into its tissues, digesting it alive from the inside out. The moss, succumbing to the invasion, turns yellow, a sign of distress and failing health, then brown, the color of decay, signaling the beginning of the end. The vibrant green is now a distant memory, then gray, the color of lifelessness, as the moss surrenders completely to the mold. Finally, collapsing into a decomposing sludge, a soupy mess of what was once a thriving plant. The mold isn't just covering the moss, it's actively consuming it, breaking down its cellular structure, turning it into fuel for its own growth. In a strange twist, this destruction is also a form of creation, recycling the moss's nutrients back into the soil, preparing the ground for new life, perhaps even for the mold itself. The transformation is brutal, a living garden, carefully cultivated, erased by the relentless efficiency of the decomposer. the miniature landscape collapses, its once defined structure now held together only by the intricate web of mold, a macabre reminder of what was lost. The green heart of the jar, the vibrant center of life, is extinguished, leaving behind a void where growth once flourished. The vibrant green is completely replaced by a relentless, all-encompassing gray, the color of fungal dominance. This is a natural process, a vital part of the cycle of life and death, but it's still harsh to witness the swiftness and totality of the transformation. In this closed world, mold proves its power to erase entire landscapes, demonstrating the delicate balance of ecosystems and the ever-present threat of decay. The moss's fate is sealed, its demise a consequence of the unstoppable advance of the fungus, a reminder of nature's unforgiving laws. The jar's ecosystem is forever changed, a testament to the power of decomposition and the constant flux of life within even the smallest of worlds. For the jar's insects, the world is now a minefield of mold. Mycelium blocks their paths, forcing detours or dangerous climbs. The air is thick with spores, clinging to their bodies and interfering with senses. Some molds can even infect and kill insects, growing inside them. The food chain is disrupted. Mold outcompetes insects for resources, leaving little behind. Insects grow frantic or lethargic, some trapped in dense mold patches. It's a microscopic drama of life and death. Mold isn't just changing the landscape, it's dismantling the web of life. The smallest inhabitants are pushed to the brink of extinction. The jar has reached a tipping point. The mold is now the ecosystem. Its mycelium links every part of the world, consuming the dead and weakening the living. The vibrant green is gone, replaced by fungal gray and white. Insects are marginalized, their populations dwindling. The system is now ruled by a single decomposer, cycling resources for itself. Soon, the mold may run out of food, slow down, or go dormant, leaving spores to wait for new opportunities. The fate of the jar is uncertain. Will it become a sterile world, or will new life emerge from the enriched soil? The mold has acted as both destroyer and creator, wiping the slate clean. The question remains, what, if anything, will grow back in the world the mold has remade?